Thanks for joining us on Tandem Radio for a very special segment, By Design, focused on helping you understand how God designed you so that you may be healthy and productive in fulfilling God's purposes in your life for many years to come. Now let's join our host, health expert and public speaker, Dr. James Proodian.
Welcome to the By Design radio program. My name is Dr. James Proodian of Proodian Healthcare and ProodianHealthcare.com, where health literacy is the key to longevity. And as long as God has us on this side of eternity, my show is designed to help educate you and your families to feel better, function better, and live as many quality disease-free years as possible. Well, welcome to a new week. And thanks for joining me this week, everyone. We're in the middle of a conversation about our gastrointestinal system, or digestion, as fun as that might sound. But the last couple of weeks that we covered digestion, I received some really good feedback from you guys. We did week number 30 and 31, where we covered digestion. We've talked about just choosing not only better foods, but we talked about the anatomy of our digestive system. I think many times as doctors, we don't spend enough time talking about the God-made anatomy or design of the system that we're trying to treat, or multiple systems that we're trying to treat. So last week, we talked about energy and the amount of energy that's actually required by our GI system. And our GI system, like any other system in the body, whether it be our musculoskeletal system, our endocrine system, our nervous system, they all require energy. But the GI system is different. It requires an abundance, a large amount of energy if it's working overtime. And we talked about not allowing our GI system or our digestive system too much work. We don't want to give it too much work because that's going to rob energy from other parts of our body, which we would not want to do. So in looking at what digestion is, which is one of the 8 foundational pieces that I wrote this show about. There's 8 pieces of this show: detoxification, epigenetics, immunity, inflammation, digestion, structure, stress, and energy. Now, those 8 pieces, we've already covered about 5 of them. We're going to be finishing over the next 6 to 10 shows, all 8 of the foundational pieces. And I think that what's very important is that with our comings and goings with our doctors and our healthcare providers, that we start thinking outside of the single-dimensional way of thinking, so that we're not just a spleen or a knee or a small intestine or a bowel. We are a multitude of things. We are interconnected from, for instance, detoxification, which is done at our liver, and its impact on digestion. So those two things play hand in hand. And what we're going to be talking about today is how digestion, detoxification, also will have a dramatic impact on energy, like we talked about last week, but also immune function. Most of our immune system and how our immune system works and how the cells that fight off those nasty bacteria and infections are actually produced in our gut, in our GI system. Many people are just not aware of the anatomy or the physiology of how we actually create a healthy, robust immune system. We want our immune system, which we're going to be covering in a few weeks, to be strong, to be enabled. We don't want to disable our immune system. We want to enable it. And we do that by starting with a healthy GI system. So the GI system is kind of like the axles in your car or the transmission in your car. You tend not to think about it, but without it, the car wouldn't run. We need to really focus on the design of the human body, and that we've got systems built inside of us that run automatically. These systems that run automatically, they don't require us thinking about them much unless we're in pain. Normally we're in pain, so we think about our stomach, for instance, so we'll take an antacid if we have a stomach ache. But the whole goal of understanding how our systems are designed is to take a proactive approach to keeping them healthy. So you wouldn't allow, your car, for instance, if you needed new tires, you change the tires. If you want to maintain your engine, you change the oil every 3,000 miles. Our systems are designed that way too. Don't allow the gastrointestinal system to end up with a disease. Let's treat it every day with kindness, with love, and nurture it so it doesn't become sick. I want to read you something today out of the Metagenics catalog. Metagenics is a nutraceutical, vitamin company that supplies doctors throughout the world with, in my opinion, one of the highest quality, if not the best quality, supplement that you could buy. So I use a lot of Metagenics products with my patients at my center, as does Dr. Coetzee, who I practice with, who's a PhD in nutrition. And I just want to read to you out of their journal, Gastrointestinal Support, Relieving Symptoms from the Inside Out. And we want to be conscious of what that means. We heal from the inside out. So as we look at the digestive system, was buried deep inside of us, our GI system, let's think about this. Certain approaches only provide temporary relief, while common approaches may alleviate symptoms such as occasional indigestion, heartburn, abdominal cramping, urgent bowel movements, or occasional constipation. They may only temporarily mask the underlying issue and have potential adverse effects. So we want to address the core, healthier approaches for lasting relief. So addressing underlying GI issues not only helps relieve digestive discomfort, it also supports many other aspects of long-term health. And when we talk about long-term health, we all want to be conscious that if we're in this world for a little bit of while, and that 100-year lifestyle that I talk about, which is how, if I'm not taken up sooner, how do I live every day consciously doing things to enable myself to feel well, to function well, and to live as many quality years as possible, understanding that there's tragedy and trauma and things I can't avoid around every corner. But what I can do, the choices I can make in my own health, will have a profound effect on how I feel, how I function. And part of that means to take care of our GI system. By taking care of our GI system, we're going to enable our bodies to toxify better. We're going to enable our bodies to have a stronger immune function. We're going to enable better energy production. And of course, we're going to enable better digestion. So should we wait to develop a disease before we implement the proper diet? No. Should we wait to develop a disease before we learn about stress reduction? Because stress, ladies and gentlemen, is a major cause of digestive disorders. So having day-to-day fight or flight stress in our lives, which I covered, I did stress many weeks ago, and now you guys are educated in knowing that stress is the precursor to most of the illness that we're dealing with. Nutritional stress, psychological stress, physical stress, environmental stress, all of the stressors will have a direct impact on the way my stomach, for instance, makes hydrochloric acid, the way my duodenum, which is the first part of my small intestine, may or may not be able to digest foods properly. Maybe you've heard of spastic colon, which is a direct effect of being in a stressful state. Leaky gut syndrome, irritable bowel syndrome. If we think about what stress does to irritation, if you had a swollen ankle that was irritated, you wouldn't go for a run on that swollen ankle. You wouldn't want to stress the swollen ankle. So as we look at our GI system, this is a system in our body that is affected by many of our lifestyle choices we make every day. What we eat, how we exercise, the relationships that we keep, our mental state, and controlling our stress so that our GI system is best equipped to eat small, frequent meals. We are not equipped, nor were we designed to eat 3 large meals a day. Man invented breakfast, lunch, and dinner. God certainly did not invent 3 meals a day. I assure you, our digestive system is designed to be assimilating and processing small amounts of food, not large amounts of food. So why is it, as a society, we wait for the diabetic to develop type 2 diabetes before we give them eat more frequently small meals. It's amazing to me. We don't do it when they're 20 years old, but we wait until they're 50, 60 years old and they develop type 2 diabetes. And then many medical doctors say, okay, we're going to eat smaller, more frequent meals. We should be eating that way every day of our lives. So our lifestyle, the things that we do every day, will dictate the health of our digestive system. So here are some takeaways for you guys. If you know you have a sensitivity, let's say to gluten or to dairy, let's avoid anything that could be a sensitive food to our gut. If we know, for instance, we talked about table sugar and we talked about white flour, processed food, man-made food, processed food, all are irritating to our GI system. We want to avoid these types of foods. We want to feed our body God-made healthy food that has a high fiber content. So for instance, vegetables have a high fiber content. They improve the ability for me to move my bowel, as opposed to something like dairy product, which is going to cause constipation many times because it's a highly inflammatory food. We don't want that GI wall to become inflamed. So we want to do everything we can to eat an anti-inflammatory diet. Anti-inflammation and an anti-inflammatory diet is critical to our GI system. Go to drproodian.com and become a member of my blog site, and you can read some of my prior blogs on inflammation. So fruits, vegetables, lean sources of protein. And my friend Anthony, who is a teacher at Calvary Christian School in Old Bridge, submitted an email to me, and thank you for doing that, Anthony, about organic food. Yes, try to eat your vegetables organic. Definitely your chicken organic, and if you eat beef, grass-fed beef. If you eat dairy, try to do organic dairy. Because like Anthony said in his email to me, you save money by not eating out and shopping and cooking in your own home. So use that money and apply it to better quality food. I'm a quality guy. I want to eat quality food, God-made food that's going to help my transit time, improve my immune system, improve my energy, decrease the stress to my GI system, and hopefully that's clear as we end today's program. Thank you for joining me, Dr. James Proodian of Proodian Healthcare and ProodianHealthcare.com and By Design radio program. Thank you, Anthony, for submitting that question. God bless you and Amanda and your wonderful family. And thank you for all my listeners and my patients who are listening this week. May you guys really take the time this week, everyone out there, and realize that this amazing, one-of-a-kind design, never to be duplicated, not one of your cells, every day when you wake up, and if you're doing your devotionals, after your devotionals, or somewhere in the course of your day, that you could just take 10 seconds, 30 seconds, and think about this amazing design and how this amazing design was created for you. And it's our job to maintain it. It's our job to nourish it. It's our job to physically keep it fit. And it's our job to temper the stress that comes along with our daily existence on this planet. So as we go about our day and you're shopping this week, take a look at the perimeter of your grocery store. Food is meant to be kept at a cold temperature. It's meant to rot or spoil. Just eat it before it does. Take a look at man-made food. Get it out of your cupboards and watch the stress load that we're putting on our bodies. Have a great week and God bless.
You've been listening to By Design with Dr. James Proodian of Proodian Healthcare. To learn more, visit us at tandemradio.com. That's tandemradio.com, or on Facebook. And don't forget to email us with your questions. We'd love to hear from you. In the meantime, hope you have a healthy week, and we look forward to you joining us next time for more fantastic insights from Dr. James Proodian on By Design, a special production of Tandem Radio.